This might sound a bit controversial, but I think having a perfect life plan is actually ruining your life. Some people have it all mapped out, so spreadsheets, timelines, milestones, you name it. But I feel like that would just make me miserable. Don't get me wrong, I love a good plan. I've got goals, I try to write stuff down. But nowadays I feel like there's this weird pressure where if you don't have your entire life mapped out step by step, you're somehow failing. And I think that's kind of messed up. And the thing I've realized is that life doesn't actually work that way at all. I used to be obsessed with having everything figured out. Like I had this timeline in my head. By 25, I'm going to be here. By 30, I'll have this. By 35, I'll be doing that. And every time something didn't go according to that plan, I'd kind of spiral. I'd think I was behind. I'd compare myself to people who seemed like they had it all together. But then I realized something. Life is always going to be up and down, and you can't really predict it. It's kind of like riding waves. Sometimes you're on top of one, and everything is just going smoothly. And other times, you get knocked down, and you're underwater for a bit. That's just how it goes in life. And honestly, I think once I accepted that, things just got easier. Like we have so many plans. We make these detailed roadmaps or timelines. We color code our calendars. We set these really specific milestones and targets. But knowing that we aren't actually in control of certain things, I think that should make us more at ease and not more stressed. We're out here trying to control every variable when half of life is just stuff that happens to us. Things we can't control, things we couldn't have predicted. For example, your company gets bought out. You meet someone who changes your perspective. You get ill. You discover a new passion you didn't really even know existed. Your roommates move out and suddenly you need to figure out a new living situation. None of that is really in a 5-year plan. And I think when we cling too hard to this idea of the perfect plan, we're setting ourselves up to feel like failures, when reality inevitably looks different for us. Which is kind of crazy because we're not actually failing, we're just living. Which makes me think about something that I've realized for quite some time now. I think nowadays, there's this massive pressure to look like you have everything together. Nobody has a perfect life, regardless of what you see. Like nobody. The person who looks like they've got it all figured out, they're dealing with something in life. For example, you know someone that's bought a house at 23. Maybe he's struggling with loneliness or anxiety, or he hates his job. The person with the perfect relationship you hear about. You're only seeing the good parts. You're not seeing the arguments or the doubts or the difficult conversations. Everyone has their struggles. It's just that we've gotten really good at hiding them, or we just talk about the wins and we keep the losses to ourselves, which naturally you would do. But what we're forgetting is that we're comparing our behind the scenes with everyone else's final cut. You're comparing your rough draft to their highlight reel. Your chapter 3 to their chapter 23. That's not a fair comparison. I don't even think that's a real comparison. I'm sure we've all come across people that are constantly comparing themselves to others. So they're always saying things like, I'm so behind in life. I wish I was like this person. But then afterwards, you find out that the person that they were comparing themselves against is maybe like 50 grand in debt, or they're miserable at their job. But what they were good at was making it look like they were happy. So I think the key thing here is to stop comparing your life to other people's lives. And this goes for myself as well. You don't know what they're actually dealing with. You don't know what they sacrificed to get to where they are. You don't even know if they're happy. And most importantly, I think, their timeline isn't your timeline. That path that they're going on isn't your path. And what works for them might be completely wrong for you. So look, I'm not saying don't plan. I think planning is good. Having goals is also good. I still have things that I'm working towards, but it's also good sometimes, I think, to just go with the flow, to kind of let things unfold, and also to be okay with the fact that the path you thought you might take might not be the one you end up on. Thinking about it, some of the best things that have happened to me were things I didn't really plan for, opportunities I didn't see coming, people that I met randomly, decisions that I kind of made on a whim that ended up changing a lot. If I had stuck rigidly to a perfect plan, I would have missed all of that. I would have said no to things because they weren't part of my plan. Or I would have ignored opportunities because they didn't fit the timeline that I had for myself in my head. And honestly, I feel like that's quite a boring way to live. The joy of life is sometimes not knowing what's coming next. Yes, obviously uncertainty can be scary, but not knowing if things are going to work out or where you're going to be in a year or what's just around the corner, that can be uncomfortable. But at the same time, it's also exciting. It's kind of freeing in a way. If you think about it, if you knew exactly how your life was going to play out, that would be kind of sad. You wouldn't really have that adventure in life. You wouldn't have the joy of discovering things. Some of my favorite memories are things that I never really planned for. like spontaneous trips I've taken, long, deep conversations with the people I love, or saying yes to something that I was scared of at the start and it turned out to be amazing. You can't really plan for that stuff. I feel like you can't really schedule spontaneity. And I think when we're so focused on just the plan, we miss those moments. We're so busy trying to stay on track that we don't even notice when something unexpected is happening right in front of us. Treat every day like a new adventure. Even the boring days, even the difficult days. There's something new to learn all the time. There's always someone new to meet. Or there's just a small thing that could happen that could shift your perspective completely. The key thing is to be open to it. You have to be willing to let go a bit. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the perfect life plan is kind of a myth, because life isn't perfect. It's very messy, it's unpredictable, and a lot of times it throws curveballs that completely derail what you thought was going to happen. But that's not a bad thing. That's just life being life. So maybe instead of stressing about having every step figured out, we just accept that we're riding the waves. Some days we're up, some days we're down. And both are okay. Both are just part of life. I'm still figuring this out myself, but I think I'm a lot less anxious now that I've stopped trying to force everything into some predetermined timeline. I sleep better, I enjoy things more, I'm a bit more present in the moment, and I'm not really thinking about whether I'm on track or not. Because what does on track even mean? On track according to who, and according to what standard? Your life doesn't have to look like anyone else's, and your timeline definitely doesn't need to match theirs. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves the freedom to make it up as we go along. Anyways, I appreciate this was a different type of video, but let me know if it resonates, and let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you a constant planner? Do you have lots of goals and do you write everything down? Or do you kind of just go with the flow and accept the fact that a lot of things are out of your control and you take it as it comes? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.